All right, welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here with us today. We are going to unpack a deeply fascinating and quite frankly totally mysterious geopolitical puzzle that's unfolding right now in South Asia. At the center of it all, a sudden string of eliminations by what are simply being called unknown men. We're going to use the data and reports we have to connect the dots between shifting regional security, international diplomacy, and the emerging weaponization of natural resources. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and we're going to make it incredibly clear.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. Afridi and the unknown men, a pattern of assassinations, U.S. policy versus political rhetoric, the Indus water narrative, and finally, we'll wrap up with how you can kickstart your own tech career.
All right, part one, Afridi and the unknown men, a truly shocking elimination.
So according to the source material, a major figure in the Lashkar-e-Taiba organization, Sheikh Yusuf Afridi, was recently eliminated. And the details? They honestly read a bit like a spy thriller. He was just walking right outside his home on a Monday, when these entirely unidentified attackers walk up, shoot him at close range, and then literally just vanish. Poof. No group has stepped forward to claim responsibility. Whoever these attackers are, they remain completely unknown.
Now you might be wondering, who exactly was this guy? Well, the reports point out he was a very close associate of Hafiz Saeed, but his real operational value, that was in coordination and recruitment. He was notorious for heading into impoverished, tribal areas and basically manipulating highly impressionable, vulnerable youth, pushing them right onto the path of terrorism. So his removal, that is a massive operational blow to the entire group.
Which brings us to part two, a pattern of assassinations. These are systematic eliminations,
and this brilliantly illustrates that Afridi's death is definitely not an isolated incident. If we look at the data going back to 2022, we're seeing a highly systematic elimination of major figures. Back in 2022, Mistry Zahoor Ibrahim, one of the IC-814 hijackers, was killed in Karachi. That exact same year, Lal Mohammed, identified as a major ISI agent, was taken out in Nepal. Then fast forward to 2023, Shahid Latif, the literal mastermind behind the Pathankot attack, was shot by 3 unknown gunmen right outside a mosque in Pakistan. I mean, the pattern here is absolutely undeniable.
To really put this into perspective, let's contrast the security dynamics from, say, 10 to 15 years ago compared to right now. Over a decade ago, India was dealing with frequent, devastating blasts in major cities like Delhi and Mumbai. And Pakistan? It was widely seen as a safe haven where these militant planners could just operate freely. But today, the dynamic has completely flipped on its head. India has seen a massive decrease in these major terror attacks, while the leaders of groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, they are reportedly living in absolute constant fear of these unknown gunmen just showing up to deliver sudden justice.
Moving on to Section 3, U.S. policy versus political rhetoric. Two very contrasting narratives.
Now this is where it gets really interesting diplomatically. You have this incredibly stark contrast. On one side, there's personalized political rhetoric, like former U.S. President Donald Trump warmly calling a Pakistani military leader his favorite field marshal. And that gets heavily celebrated in Pakistani media. But when you look at the official stance of the United States government, it is a totally different reality. Official U.S. congressional reports explicitly designate the country as a hub for multiple terror groups, and that dates all the way back to the 1980s.
In fact, I want to zero in on one specific number right here, 12. According to those official U.S. reports, there are literally 12 different groups operating inside Pakistan that are officially designated as foreign terrorist organizations, or FTOs, under U.S. laws. That is a sobering reality check that cuts right through all that flattering diplomatic talk.
All right, Section 4, the Indus water narrative, or what's being called water terrorism.
So, what does this actually mean? Well, water terrorism is essentially a tactic of narrative warfare. It's when a nation publicly accuses its neighbor of withholding river water and weaponizing it to gain international sympathy. And right now, the Indus Water Treaty is sitting in abeyance. With some seriously brutal heat waves approaching the subcontinent, the source analysis predicts that Pakistan is going to aggressively push this exact narrative against India to shift the global spotlight.
Now, what's really interesting here is the actual rhetoric being used. Just listen to this quote from the Pakistani Prime Minister. "Water is our red line, and we will absolutely not allow India to use water as a weapon." I mean, wow. That clearly shows you how incredibly high the diplomatic stakes are getting. We're not just talking about border skirmishes anymore. The rhetoric is shifting to the fundamental resources people need to literally survive.
So how is this actually going to play out? The source breaks down a multi-pronged strategy. First, frame India internationally as the aggressor, withholding water. Second, amplify that exact narrative using friendly media networks in places like Turkey and China to build up international sympathy. And third, and this ties right back to what we talked about a minute ago, lobby friendly politicians. There's an expected push to actually get Donald Trump to tweet his support for their water concerns, basically leveraging that favorite field marshal connection for strategic diplomatic gain.
Which leaves us with a pretty massive question to ponder. How is the global community actually going to respond to this new water narrative? Will they focus on the historical data of terror designations, or is narrative warfare over a vital resource like water going to completely reshape the diplomatic landscape? It's a rapidly evolving situation and for sure a space we all need to watch closely.
And finally, Section 5. Kickstart your tech career with Career 24/7.
Okay, so we've just spent the last few minutes analyzing some intensely complex global data together. Now, let's talk about building your own ability to analyze data. I am absolutely super excited to introduce today's sponsor, Career 24/7. If you are looking to totally transform your career trajectory, their job-focused data and business analytics courses are a real game changer. Actually, just in the last 2 months alone, over 100 people have used their platform to land their very first jobs or score major promotions.
But here's why you need to know about this right this second. Their Big Savings Days event ends absolutely tonight, April 28th, at midnight. Like, literally tonight. If you use the code PD10, you get 26% off all courses. And guys, this isn't just a bunch of pre-recorded videos. You earn official IBM badge certificates. Plus, if you're dedicated and keep up your attendance, Career 247 actually guarantees a minimum of 3 job interviews to kickstart your new career. No way you want to miss that.
It is so incredibly simple to get started. Step 1, just click the link in the comments below. Step 2, fill in your name, email, your phone number, and this is crucial, pop in that discount code PD10. Step 3, sit back and relax, because a rep from Career 247 is going to call you directly to answer any questions and get you moving on your data science or business analytics journey. So, my final question for you today is this. Are you ready to take control of your career and write your own success narrative? The deadline is tonight, so please do not wait on this. Thank you guys so much for diving into these incredibly complex geopolitical shifts with me today. I absolutely love unpacking this stuff with you. Stay curious, take action on your future right now, and I'll see you in the next explainer.